Hey, what's going on? This is Kayne Frost, and today I wanted to talk about first dates and what you should be doing and where to go and time management and all that other fun stuff. All right, so let's say you read my book or you watched my videos and you've seen how it is to approach women, how to interact, how to get their number, how to set up a date, and all that stuff. So now the date has come, and you're probably figuring out, all right, cool, I got the number, I got the date. Now, what do I do as far as for when I set up the date, and where do I go out, and where do I take her? So the first and foremost thing you should always know that it's not about the date. That's the whole thing, the misconception that a lot of people get. They think that they gotta show the person this great time for the person to like them. So they think, well, if I take them to an expensive place, that's going to be everything. So if I take them to, like a medieval times, or high in a restaurant, or if I take them to a comedy club, or if I take them somewhere extravagant, where I gotta pay a lot of money to buy these tickets, $80 tickets, $120 tickets, go take them to some sporting event arena or some concert or something like that. I mean, unless you really, 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 really want to go watch that game or watch that concert or something like that, and you just want to kind of have somebody to go with, all right, I get it. You can do that. But for the most part, you don't need to do all that. What if the other person doesn't like what you like, and then they're there and they're not having fun, but you are? That's kind of a very, it could be a mismatch, but also, that's a really big gamble if you're going out there and you want to go see a band and that other person's really not feeling that band as you are, and now you're worried about them not having fun or something like that, when you should be having all the fun. And or if you're having too much fun and they're looking at you like some weirdo because that's your favorite band or whatever, and they're like, I don't even like this band. So that's a big gamble if you want to play that route. But for the most part, the first date is not about the date. It should be about you and her, just trying to figure out if you're compatible on a lot of subjects, on a lot of things. You have common interests in mind. That's the whole point about going out on a date, is to figure out the other person's interests and if they like you and what are your interests and goals in mind and stuff like that. Now, if you just want to hook up with a chick and just smash, there's no date involved. You just tell them to come over your house. You don't really have to go out and get to know each other and do all this and that. You guys physically find each other attractive. You don't really care what music you like. You just guys like each other for the way you guys look, their clothes and all that stuff. Then just know that that's what it is, and there's no date involved. So they can come straight over to your house. You tell them that, and they're okay with that, coming over the first date straight to your house. Then just know that it's probably just going to be a hookup. So if you hook up with them, there's no date. You hook up that night, you have a good time, they leave. Now, if you do see them as relationship material and you do want to date them, you can take it to that next level. Just know when you take it to that next level, you can't go back. You can't go back down. You're taking, from just saying, for a woman's point of view, you take somebody out and now they're going to be wanting, expecting to go out. Now you're treating them as a girlfriend. You can't sit there and take them out one time and they, oh, you got to come straight to my house next time. Now maybe I'll take you out next time. Then you're playing all these games and stuff like that. It ain't going to work out. So just know that if you do want them to hook up, they come over your house. Know it is what it is. There's no date, and you're not going to treat them like a girlfriend or a relationship and ask them about, a lot of what's going on in their lives and all that stuff. And then they got to go. And that is what it is. But a date is usually a date. It's getting to know the person. Like I said, it's not about how much money you can spend. And a lot of people mess up because they'll spend a whole lot of money, and then they'll kind of maybe they don't really have. They get a lot of mixed signals of what's going on with the female, and so then they say, okay, I'll go out on another date, and then they go out and they try to top their last date with equal amount of money, and then they try to do that, and it doesn't work out. Or what I'm saying is, like, it does work out with the money they're spending the date, But at the end of the night, they try to kiss her on the lips. She gives them the cheek, and they've wasted all this money and time already. Now, let's say they spent over $200 already. That's $200 they can't get back, and the time and energy they could have been using that on somebody else. So know that it's not about the date when you first go out. It's about you two getting to know each other. So the best thing to do is spend the least amount of money and try to have more one-on-one conversations with less people around you getting involved or to distract you from having a conversation. So when you go to a game, all your focus is on the game. It's hard to interact with a person because there's so much going on, loud noises, buzzers, and all that stuff. You're too much focused on the game. Same thing with the band, same thing with the comic. Anything you go to is going to be, all the eyes and attention are going to be in front of you. So get into a less crowded, when you go on the first date, pick something that's a less crowded venue. Even you go to a restaurant, like I said, you don't have to go to a high-end restaurant. You could just go out for drinks and just sit at the bar where it's just you two and just having a conversation. It could be anything like that. Or you can go, if it's a good clear day outside, you can go for a walk in the park. You can do something like that, something very simple, but something where it's going to be you are engaging with the person one-on-one, and just to find out if you guys have mutual interests or not. And you're going to find that out very quickly because there'll be a lot of awkward silences. And if you're trying to be flirtatious with them, they might not be feeling you in certain ways. And if they don't, then just know that they're not feeling like that. You can't change a person's when they have attraction towards you or they like you in a certain way. You can't change that. You can't force it, and you can't change it about them. So if you're hoping, like maybe this person's not seeing the real side of me or something like that, or maybe she has to open up to me more to be more flirtatious and all that stuff. It's not really that. If it's a chemical, like a balance between you two and romantic, then you guys are going to be hit it off, and whatever you do, you don't have to be grabbing on them right off the bat, but if you kind of touch them and they're not swiping your hand away or something like that, again, this is on a date. You've already been talking and you're on a date. So if they don't do any of that, then they're cool with that kind of stuff. But now if they do move your hand away and everything else, that means they're not feeling you in that way. You could try again later and know that they just don't see you that way. They're just maybe hanging out with you because they were bored, and maybe they see you as a friend. Or maybe it started off as romantically, want to see you romantically involved, but then as you were talking to them, maybe they lost interest in you. And they don't see you as wanting to sleep with you and hook up with you. And now they just want to be a friend. And now they're just thinking in the back of their head, like, this is just another friend guy or another nice guy. And they can't wait to get out of the situation and go home because they're never going to talk to you again. They're going to ghost you. So you can't change that. If you're hoping to hopefully turn that around with them, it will never work. All you're going to do is be chasing and chasing and chasing, and they'll be just running away farther away until they got to block you or ghost you. So know that, especially on a first date, if they're not feeling you, you can't touch them. You can't ask them certain questions. If you try to bring up flirtatious and sexual conversations, and if they don't, if they say ooh and they don't like the conversations, know that they don't see you in that way and they're not feeling in that way. I've had that happen. You're talking to a person and then you bring up I just make up stuff, random stuff, just to see where their head is at and how they see me. So I'll just, this girl's talking about this and she liked this sexual position, and the girl will be like, oh, that's so gross or whatever. And it's just a normal thing. But you're bringing up sexual conversations into the mix with that person, and that person doesn't see you in that light. So it's like a turnoff for them. You see what I'm saying? And, if they did like you and they did, you said the same thing, they're going to laugh about it and be like, oh my God, that girl's crazy. or something like that, but they're not going to be, ooh, that's gross. It's because they just don't see you in that way. But if it was a guy they really did like, then they would have a different reaction. But it won't be like it's a gross thing. They'll find it funny, or just be like, oh my God, just be something different reaction than just like, oh, that's gross. They just don't see you like that. And there's no way you can be able to change that, unless you unless you had a lot of money, you want to throw dollars into the mix, and you're going to be just balling out and taking this girl on trips and doing all this other extravagant things and buying her jewelry and all that other stuff. Sure, yeah, what girl's not going to want to do that? She's going to be attracted to your money and what you have to offer her, and then when you stop offering those things, or your money starts drying up, and then she's going to leave, because she fell in love with what you had to offer, not you. So that's the main thing. So the whole date thing is not about trying to show this person how much money you have. Again, because if you do that, then you're showing or saying this subconsciously, that you have no game, that your money is your game. That's how you attract women into your life, is the amount of money you spend. And that's a horrible way about going about dating people. It should be about you. You should learn game and know on how to talk to women, and how to carry conversations, and how to be flirtatious, and how to dress sexy, and how to talk sexy, and how to be masculine. All these things play a big part in getting a girl's attention and attraction to you without the money, because again, if there's always going to be somebody who has more money than you. So if you're out there balling out, buying this girl and doing this, going these places, there's always going to be a guy behind you who's going to have more money than you, and is going to be able to do more things, and then your girl's going to go with that guy. And that's the last thing you want. You want to be that solid guy who has a lot of things going on. Money comes and goes, So if she finds that guy that's good in bed, good, dresses sexy, smells good, talks, all this stuff, doesn't matter how much money this other guy is going to be offering her, you are going to be a rare catch to find. Not many guys, there's going to be a lot of guys out there that had the money but no game. Goofy dudes. And does that girl want to be with a goofy dude who's just going to be able to fly her all these fly all these places, but hanging out with some stupid guy who doesn't know how to make him feel, sexy and want to be with, just want to rip the guy's clothes off? If it's just some goofy guy all the time, maybe that might work, one or two times on a girl in their younger age. But once they've experienced all that, now they're getting older, they're not going to want that. They're going to want more a guy who's more mature, who has his things going down and doesn't need money to impress chicks. Those are the guys they want. Those are the guys they chase. Those are the guys they want to be with. Even when girls marry guys for money, they still have the desire and the lust to be with the guy who's more attractive, who turns them on, who's more just hotter in shape. That they still want that, because the guy who has the money it doesn't even matter if they have kids, they still want that. If they're attractive looking still after having kids and all that stuff, then they can get that, because that's what they desire. But I'm just saying, most women that do that and they get with some guy who has money and stuff like that, then they do that when they're young, and then next thing you know, they're all overweight, and now they realize they fucked up, and they don't want the guy who has a lot of money. Now they want the hotter guy. They try to get back out in the market. Now they're overweight, few kids, and it doesn't work out. They think their sexual market value is still in their younger 20s, and now they're in their 30s, and it just doesn't work out. So, all right, man. So that's about it. It is about where to take them out on dates. I kind of go off on different little rabbit holes sometimes, because there's so many other topics that just pop up all the time, but this stuff, man, the date is not about the date. It's about you two coming together and figuring out if you both have sexual desires to see each other again. And by spending a whole lot of money does no good for the both of you, because all you're doing is spending money. You need to figure out how to interact with the person more than the entertainment is. And I understand a lot of people out there might be nervous about interacting with somebody like that for such a long period of time, and they do want something to have a distraction there to kind of like, oh, look at this, look at this clown over here and make this, whatever faces and stuff like that, while I'm just hanging out with you, and hopefully you're gonna get the vibe on me that I'm a good guy and all this other stuff. That doesn't work out, man. You got to be able to interact with the person you're with, you're going out with, to build that bond and to build that connection. All right, man, so that's about it for this one, man. Until the next time. Oh yeah, these are my books on Amazon and elsewhere. Till the next time, man, this is Kayne Frost signing off, man. Rock on in. Peace.